Hi, I'm Stephen Garvey, founder, leader of National Citizens Alliance, NCA. I would like to thank all the Edmontonians and other Albertans and people from BC even that came out to Edmonton yesterday for the big rally at Sir Winston Churchill Square. We weren't planning to do a live broadcast today, but we felt compelled because of the very false, misleading coverage by the CBC. So we feel we need to stand up for ourselves, stand up for other patriots, and not allow them to push false narratives. And to be very blunt, the CBC has become nothing more than state propaganda. And this article, which I'm going to look at today and critique it, it will demonstrate that it's full of misleading information, false information that is deceiving the Canadian public. This is wrong. And this type of propaganda by state media belongs in a communist regime, a totalitarian regime. Doesn't belong in a true democracy. So, what's going on in Canada? You need to ask yourselves, what's going on? Why is this happening? Why is the federal government giving 600 million most recently to the globalist mainstream media? Is this what they want? State propaganda? Brainwashing Canadians? What kind of society will we have? And I'll show this article. This will showcase it. This was an egregious example of false junk media. And I'm going to turn to our CBC policy at the end of this, and I'll tell you how we're going to deal with this National Citizens Alliance. Before I get into this, I want to make an announcement that we're going to do an additional public rally against the United Nations and the global world order in Edmonton. We had 400 or so patriots come out. They were great people. A lot of them were Edmontonians, people from the rural area of Alberta, people from BC, Saskatchewan even. These were true patriots, true nationalists, true Canadians that came out. But we want thousands to come out. Thousands wearing your yellow vest. So here's we put up something on our website here. It's right here. If you go to our main page under Party News, December 15th, public rally against United Nations Global World Order. And here's a comprehensive video on the UN Migration Pact. And again, this is in solidarity with Yellow Vests, patriots worldwide against the United Nations and Global World Order. We call on all patriots, nationalists, Canadians in the Edmonton and Greater Edmonton area to stand united against the United Nations and Global World Order. It is all about our children and their future and the country we love. So this is Saturday, December 15th. This will be our last major event of 2018. South end of Sir Winston Churchill Square. Have your voice heard. We may end up doing a march, part of this rally. We're still deciding on that, whether the march would be useful in getting our message out. And so that may be a part of the latter stage of the rally this coming Saturday. And as we said on this past Saturday, the mic at our events, NCA events, that is the people's mic. As long as you're not pushing racism, supremacy, we want to hear your views on the UN and global world order. That is the people's mic. So it is an open mic. And we encourage people to share this event. And there's a link to the Facebook event right here. And this is at nationalcitizensalliance.ca. And you can like it, share this page, tweet it, follow it right here. So please get the message out. This is about our children, their children's future. It's about our survival as a country, as a people, as Canadians, as Westerners. And some people were complaining that, oh, what about Christmas shopping? Well, isn't protecting our children, our freedoms, Canada we love, isn't that more important than shopping all day for Christmas? We're just asking for 2 hours. Just 2 hours, and let's really make a big statement. And I'm wearing this tonight as I wore it yesterday in solidarity with Canadian patriots, nationalists, Canadians across our country, in solidarity with our French patriots and patriots worldwide. This yellow vest is a symbol of the danger we're facing from this globalism, from the UN, global world order, the mass immigration, the UN Migration Pact. This is a symbol of the danger to our children and their future, to our country, our sovereignty. And that's why we wear these yellow vests. It's an important message. It's a wake up call to all Canadians, to all people worldwide who believe in freedom, justice, fairness, who believe in true democracy. That's what these vests are for. I'm going to turn to this article now. And here it is. So here we have it here. CBC was at the event. They interviewed me. And so here's the main title: Alberta Yellow Vest Protests. Yeah, I guess it was a yellow vest protest, but it was more than that. It says lack violence. Yeah, there was no violence like seen in Paris. But not all the yellow vest protests in Paris are violent. And that's what the media is pushing. But then it says it's anti-immigration anger simmers. That is false and misleading. There was nothing about the Edmonton rally that was against immigrants. And we had immigrants there in the rally supporting us. It was all about the United Nations and the global world order and what it's doing to our people and country. And connected to that is the UN Migration Pact. Again, this is about our sovereignty, our people. And then we talked about mass immigration. That doesn't mean we're anti-immigrant. The National Citizens Alliance supports responsible, balanced immigration. We do not support the mass immigration into our country, which is rapidly transforming our country into this post-national state. So this isn't anti-immigrant. This is all about pro-Canadian. Turning back to the article, and then the subtitle, it says hundreds protested United Nations Migration Pact and carbon tax in Edmonton, Calgary. Well, that subtitle is completely misleading. There was at least 400 protesters in the Edmonton rally alone. I can't speak for the Calgary event. I did talk to someone today, and there was at least 100 plus there. But this didn't have anything directly to do with a carbon tax. And this was related to the UN Migration Pact, but it was in protest to the United Nations and global world order. So this subtitle is misleading. And why is the CBC afraid to mention the global world order? What are they afraid of? What are they afraid of? Why can't they state the truth? If we turn back to the article, it says more than 150 protesters rallied in Edmonton. Again, this fake carbon tax issue. Yeah, we're against the carbon tax. And there was a few signs, no carbon tax, no Trudeau. But this is all about the UN and global world order. And there was at least 400 protesters. So they're downplaying. And then I'm going to shift down here because they're talking about the Calgary event. We're not going to touch on that. And it goes down here again. Saw a large protest with about 150 people. Oh, that was something, marching from the legislature to Churchill Square. Yeah, they came in about 150, but by the time the Edmonton event started, there was at least 400 plus. And then they're painting fear here. They're saying multiple posts on Canada's Yellow Jackets Facebook page called for more drastic action. More drastic action? I'm not aware of that. We were there peacefully. We were there to speak the truth and to rally and support each other, and that's what we did. It was nothing more than that. And then they're going on about the carbon tax. And here, this again is Calgary. We have to scroll down a bit more. And then they try to malign the rally, the peaceful rallies in Edmonton and Calgary. They say members of the Soldier of Olden were also in attendance. And then they point out the anti-immigration group was founded in 2015 in Finland by white supremacists. And then they have a photo of that, trying to point out the negative, trying to spin the negative. Then they say members of the anti-immigration group, again, they repeat it here in the photo, and they make a point of saying attended the rally in Edmonton, trying to smear everyone, link the rallies to white supremacy, try to malign the soldiers of Odin in Canada. They were at our event in Edmonton. There's no denying that fact. I met them before, and quite frankly, they're patriots as far as I'm concerned. They don't believe in white supremacy. They believe in protecting our country. And you know what's funny here is the hypocrisy of the CBC. They talk about a sect in Finland which was linked to white supremacy, and then they take their brush and they paint all soldiers of Onan by the same brush. Then that's wrong. That's wrong what they're doing. And it's unjust to the soldiers of Odin in Canada who do not support white supremacy, the ones I know, and the ones at the rally. But they take their brush, and they were brushing us, all the patriots there, saying because they're there, we're all this. That's how they play their manipulation game. And that's wrong. Look at that. And it's just like, let's turn it around. It's like someone saying radical Islamics. They're doing something terrible. They're the terrorism in Toronto. We're going to paint all Muslims the same. Well, that's basically what the CBC is doing. They're just reversing it on the public and saying, oh, because in Finland there was a sect that was involved in white supremacy, we're going to paint all patriots as white supremacists and have that implication there. That's what they're doing. Complete manipulation. But this was a public event, and the soldiers of Odin were more than welcome to attend. And then they quote me here, founder of National Citizens Alliance, a Calgary base. Again, look at this. They call us an anti-immigration political party, linking us to the soldiers of Odin in Finland, because they're an anti-immigration group, but we're an anti-immigration party. You see the manipulation going on. Isn't it disgusting? Orwellian. And yet, we support responsible, balanced immigration. We want to bring the best immigrants into our country, yet they call us anti-immigrant. This is all doublespeak, Orwellian manipulation going on here, and it's very subtle there. This is basically propaganda, as I said. This is a propaganda piece to smear. And then they misquoted me, and they took it out of context. I said there's massive censorship of media, but they don't say what I was talking about. That was pertaining to the UN Migration Pact, which is part of that, but they don't tell you that. And then they say this is un-Canadian, and I'm saying that's un-Canadian to do that. And then Canada has to be about the Canadian people. It can't be about people sold out to some globalist agenda. And then they say the U.S., but when I said the UN in Ottawa, so they twisted that. I don't know where they got this from. I listened to all the speeches in Edmonton, but then they make another false statement saying we are crying like babies, saying we decried the media, saying there hasn't been enough attention paid to their cause. This is absolute propaganda. This is just false, misleading information that they're spinning onto the Canadian people. And our tax dollars are paying for this garbage. Unbelievable. And then they had some kind of quote here. There's no media outlet here today. The Liberal bought CBC. They're not coming, said one protester in a live video. I can't comment on that. I wasn't there. But I think you get the gist of this article. It's just straight propaganda. They're manipulating the Canadian people. This isn't anything to do with honest, objective journalism. This is fake, false, junk journalism. It's state propaganda. State propaganda. And this is how we want to deal with the CBC. It's very clear, our policy at nationalcitizensalliance.ca. We want to, the policy is very simple. It's one line. Selling off the Canadian Broadcast Corporation to the highest bidder within 6 months period of forming government. That's our policy in a nutshell. That's it. Just one statement. We're going to sell the CBC off to the highest bidder. We will save the Canadian taxpayer $10 billion over 10 years. This has gone on long enough. And if you support the CBC, use your own money after we sell it off. You fund it with your own money. Don't expect all the taxpayers to pay for this state propaganda. This rod has gone on too long. Look at that nonsense in that article. Complete propaganda. So I want to thank you for joining me tonight. That's all I'm going to share. But please share the event this coming Saturday. I know it's close to Christmas, but this issue is about our survival. It is about our children and their future, and it's about protecting Canadian sovereignty, our freedoms, our liberty, our justice, our way of life as Canadians, as Westerners. What could be more important? So come out on December 15th. It will be an open mic, and we may have a march component. We're going to decide on that, and go to our Facebook page, share the event. This is not a one-time thing we're doing, and that's our message by doing this follow-up rally. This is not a one-time event, and we will do more in 2019. This issue is not going away. So thank you for joining me.